I'm slightly scared for what the comments are going to look like, and we will eventually get there. Welcome back to Ace here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And it was a tough one. Our beloved New Jersey Devils coming off a painful loss in Tampa to the Lightning. Still in the sunny state of Florida, in Sunrise, taking on the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. And our beloved New Jersey Devils fall by a score of 1-0. And my God, this one is painful. A lot of you are painful. Before I get to anything else, I just have to say a tip of the cap. Jake the Snake Allen standing tall in net. Without Jake Allen, the Devils lose this game by a much wider margin, as many of you commented in the chat throughout the game. Jake the Snake Allen, the best New Jersey Devil on the ice tonight by not even miles, I would say stratospheres. There was no one even close to what we got out of Jake Allen, but we go to the scoring. The one and only goal in the first period, Sam Reinhart is an absolute stud. That was an elite goal scorer's goal. And I will say in that particular sequence, Lukehughes must make a play there. You absolutely must make a play. You cannot get put on a man's highlight reel like that, given the positioning that he had. Even if you take a penalty, I don't care what you do. Knock him down, tie up the stick. There's a million things you could do there. You cannot end up on the highlight reel there. Lukehughes definitely wants that sequence back. That was absolutely brutal by him. And Reinhart made them pay. That is a goal scorer's goal. The one and only goal that beat Jake Allen on the night. And that's the only goal of the game, my friends. First period, 12:58. Reinhart's 11th of the season from Forsling, and that's all she wrote for the scoring, folks. A 1-0 shutout loss, the first loss for the New Jersey Devils on the season in Game 20. So essentially they are on pace to be shut out roughly 4 times, which would be, quite the improvement from last year's. I forget if it was 8 or 9, but we saw this, or last year's Devils team shut out 8 or 9 times. I do not think that will happen this year, but maybe it will. I don't know. On pace for about 4 shutouts now. But Reinhart gets the first and only goal of the game in the first period, and that's it. And that's it, guys. Sam Reinhart. We get to the game stats. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. Before I get to this. Win or lose, we booze. I'm going with tonight I'm going with the Surfside strawberry lemonade and vodka. Only the manliest of drinks on Running with the Devils. Shout out to Surfside. These ones are quite delicious. Win or lose, we booze. And unfortunately, for the second game in a row, cheers to all of you, we are sipping on loser beverages. They don't taste as good. They do not taste as good, but all right, now we get to the game stats. Devils 31 shots on goal. Now, some of them were crap. Some of them were decent. Devils had a little flurry with the extra attacker there in that final minute. We're buzzing around the net. But 31 shots on goal. I mean, the team did not play as badly as many of you in the comments have been saying. Now, is the lack of offense concerning? Yeah, I'll get to all this after this, but for sure it is. But 31 shots to the Devils, 24 for the Panthers. Devils getting the advantage in the faceoff circle, 57.1% to the 42.9% for the Panthers. Devils power play, once again, powerless. 0 for 2 on the power play. And Panthers go 0 for 1 on the power play. The power play has got to figure it out. It was encouraging, at least for me in the moment, to see Dougie on power play one, the first power play. And then I think for the second power play on the first unit, I think we saw both a new look, a new wrinkle for the Devils power play. We saw both Shimo Nemitz and Lukehughes. I think that could be promising. 2 guys with some good handles, could pass, could fire it on net. I'm curious to see if we see that again, but that second power play saw Nemo and Luke on the same unit. Devils 23 hits, Panthers with 22. Devils 13 block shots, Panthers with 14 block shots. Devils 12 giveaways, the Panthers with 8 giveaways. Devils 4 takeaways, Panthers 3 takeaways. But the Devils out shooting them by a 31-24 margin. They got the better of them in the faceoff circle. Hits and everything else pretty damn close. But in the end, Bobrovsky was that dude tonight. And do I think now, so people were saying, oh, we got goalied. I would not classify this as a game where the Devils got goalied. I will say the Devils, in my opinion, did not get goalied. However, Bobrovsky did have a big part in the win. You know, goalie to me is like when a goalie stands on his head and he's making, you know, he's going side to side, moving laterally, stopping one-timers, breakaways, like crazy deflections. That's a game where I would say we got goalied. Tonight was not a game where the Devils got goalied, but Bobrovsky in net had his fingerprints all over the victory, and he was a huge factor in their win, no doubt. I will not take anything away from Bobrovsky, but did the Devils get goalied? I'm going to say no. Of their 31 shots, a lot of them were kind of crappy shots. There were some decent ones in there, some high dangers. Bobrovsky made some great saves, but I would not classify this as a goalieing per se. But definitely a great game for Bobrovsky and a great game for Jake Allen. It's unfortunate that he did not get any goals in support of his stellar outing, and it was a squandered start. You know, so some other things kind of on that. People were talking in the chat about the goaltending situation, and I would firmly, and I won't be surprised if this doesn't happen, but obviously, as you know, guys, you guys know I love Markey. I love me some Markey, but I also love this team, and I also love winning. And I would 1,000% go right back to Jake the Snake in Philadelphia. Now, will that happen? I don't know. I would not be surprised if we do see Markey in Philly, but if it was up to me, I'm 1,000% going back to Jake the Snake Allen and rewarding him for what was nothing short of a spectacular start. Great start for Allen. Get to some of the player stats here. Not much, positive in this department. Nason, 2 shots and a hit. Nico, 3 shots, 2 blocks, and a hit. And then he also had maybe like 3 or 4 uppercuts at the end of that first period. Uppercuts is not an official stat, so we do not see that on the sheet here. Goaltending, 2 shots, 2 hits. Connor Brown, a shot and a hit. Timo Meier, a shot, 2 blocks, and a hit. Paulie Cotter, 6 hits. Wow. 6 hits for Paulie. Bratter with 6 shots. Wow. 6 shots and a block. Grits was all over the place, I thought, tonight. 2 shots, a block, and a hit for Grits. Lamico with 2 hits. Dawson Mercer with 2 shots. On D, we have a shot and 2 hits from Dilly. Dougie Hamilton, 4 shots, a block, and 2 hits. Shimo Nemitz, a shot, 2 blocks, and a hit. Lukehughes, a shot and a block. Chalowski, 2 shots and a block. And our boy Siegs, 2 shots, 2 blocks, 3 hits for Siegs. And Jake the Snake, 23 saves on 24 shots. That is good for a .958 save percentage on the evening. Let me just think of any random thoughts I have before I get to the comments. A lot of you are just so out of line and so overly negative. Not the worst game on the planet for the Devils. Obviously, this group is having trouble scoring without Jack Hughes in the lineup. Truth be told, they were having a little bit of trouble even with him in the lineup with all the other injuries. Let me see here. Yeah, the goals weren't so overly abundant. But obviously, without Jack Hughes, best player, you're going to feel it. We have been feeling it, and it's unfortunate. Am I a little concerned? Absolutely. This team needs to find ways to generate offense. It's seemingly completely dried up, and it's definitely a cause for concern. But there is a sea of difference, a vast, vast sea of difference between being concerned and saying this team sucks, that's the end of the world, and just incessant dooming. So the reality of the matter is this team's got to get their shit together. They got to find a way to generate goals without Jack Hughes in the lineup, period. Have to find a way. But tonight, they did not play a horrible game. Was it a great game by them? No. But was it a good enough effort to beat some teams tonight? Absolutely. Absolutely, especially, carried on the back of Jake Allen. We would have beat a good amount of NHL teams tonight, I believe, with that effort, with that start from Allen. Now, unfortunately, we were going up against Bobrovsky and the back-to-back Cup champs, so that effort tonight was not good enough. But in a lot of games against a lot of other teams, this could have been. Last week, I talked about how we were finding ways to win and grind out wins in some games we may not have deserved to win, and keeping it low scoring, tight games. And I did say there is an element of luck in this. In some of those games, you're like, wow, we were kind of fortunate to squeak that one out. On the other side of the coin, some nights you're going to be in the other side of that, and you're going to be in these close games where you manage to lose. And tonight, it does suck to get shut out. Absolutely is tragic. With the lineup we have, with or without Jack Hughes, it is completely unacceptable, in my opinion, to get shut out. Now, again, obviously we're missing Glass. That's another kind of underrated injury, I would say. But not scoring a goal is not going to get it done, obviously. But am I going to be as negative as many of you people in here are? Absolutely not, because in the end, the Devils are still in a decent standing, decent position in the standings. And until they go on some massive skid that a lot of you are predicting, I'm going to keep hoping for the best. I am going to keep hoping for the best, but they got to get it together and get it together quick. Obviously, I would love to see some sort of reinforcements brought in, preferably a center. We've needed center help even before Jack and Glass went down, in my opinion. But now you're really, really seeing it, and this team is dying to produce offense, and it's just not happening. And so the low-scoring affairs, guys, is where it's going to be at for the next couple months without Jack Hughes. We are going to have to embrace winning these 2-1 type games. And tonight was not our night. But now I will ever so bravely dive headfirst into the shark-infested waters that will be the comment section right now. I'm a little frightened, and I'm going to apologize in advance. If you say something stupid, I'm probably going to call you stupid. So that's just a fair warning. Bobby, thank you for the super, sir. We are in trouble, Ace. Our offense is non-existent, and we keep losing while Caps and Isles keep winning. I have faith, but we need to right the ship. Oh, and Luke's top-notch defensive skills are on display with that goal. All right, so you got a lot going on here. In trouble, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it in trouble. I'm just going to use the same phrase I used a couple of seconds ago. I'm concerned, obviously. There is certainly a cause for concern. I don't think any level-headed person would try to tell you otherwise. Goal scoring has dried up, and obviously it was on display again tonight. The offense, it did generate some decent chances. You got to give them that, but in the end, they were not good enough. They could not get one past Bobrovsky, and so that is certainly a cause for concern. Caps and Isles winning, I mean, a lot of teams in the division are going to be end up being better than people thought. Everyone was like, oh, the Metro sucks, blah, blah, blah. The Pens could still be in it. The Rangers are capable of winning a couple games in a row. It's going to be tight, I think, for quite a while before some teams really distance themselves from the pack. And with the loser point, this is what the league wanted. They wanted to keep all these teams kind of bunched up and in the mix till the very end, obviously. And it's worked. So you see a lot of these 3-point games where the loser's getting a point, the winner gets 2 points, and these 3-point games are going to create even more parity in terms of the standings. And so I am not, while I check the standings regularly, I am not going to obsess over it the way some people are. And that's not to say that you are, Bobby. I'm just, we weren't going to most likely hold on to that first place spot the whole season. And especially with all the injuries. And then especially when one of them is now Jack Hughes, you're asking a lot of this team. The reality is we just need this team to play somewhere between 500 and 600 points percentage hockey while Jack is out. Hopefully he comes back. Looks like he did before he went down. And then this team could kind of start gelling and get a little chemistry and things going on, for the playoffs. That is the hope. All they got to do is get there, and anything could happen, especially if we get these bodies back. And as far as Luke goes, I mean, it is what it is, right? And that was just, a poor play by him, or lack thereof a play. He had a decent position, I thought, to prevent that from happening. But you got to tip your cap to Reinhart as well. He is a legit elite offensive talent. And he scored a goal scorer's goal there. But thank you very much, Bobby. Really appreciate it. Now we go. What time is it? All right, so I'm going to start back. Stickfix says, after Tuesday and now tonight, I never want to see Markstrom start for this club again. So he's actually being sarcastic. But there are people in here that do say things like that and mean it. Blackatron power play looked pretty good toward the end, except when the finisher in the middle is $6 million of underperforming bum. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's going to be a long night. Brigham Young, send the mold. We have the third best record in the league. We are doing just fine. There's literally no reason to be upset about tonight's result. Yeah, there's some nice positivity. I'm obviously, I just disagree to the extent of, I think there's a reason to be upset. It's just because we lost. But it is not the tragic performance that people are making it out to be. I was far more mad after the Lightning game, if I'm being real. We got steamrolled. I mean, we had a chance to steal a point late, and this one, it didn't happen, and it sucks. I'm not happy about it whatsoever, but I'm not going to proclaim that the team is done and this guy sucks and this contract is horrible. Like, it is unfortunate that losses like tonight just bring out the worst in the worst type of fans. Lucas says Timo, Nico, and Brad are not pulling their weight. I would ask you, Lucas, who is pulling their weight aside from Jake Allen? Who is? And maybe Nemo, and then maybe another defenseman or two on some nights. But for the most part, who is pulling their weight right now? I love how people just pick out the guys that they don't like or that they have had a narrative against. You know, there's a guy in here, Nick, who's hated on Timo forever, and so now he's picked tonight to start harping on that. But the reality is, you could attack almost anybody if you want. The team is struggling. When a team struggles, you could say this about most players. And there's nothing productive about that. The team is struggling. Therefore, most of the guys are struggling. And then whoever's name you want to throw out there, you say, yeah, they're struggling. The entire team is. Blackatron Palat is on pace for 9 points in 82 games. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, but what are you going to do? Enough of the kid gloves with these three players. Who cares? I got clowned for pointing this out, but going into the game, we had one regulation win in the last 11 games where we were 27th in goals per game, 25th in goals against per game, 24th PK, and 30th power play. Yeah, those are obviously bad stats. They're bad stats, but the team was still finding ways to win. And the same could have happened tonight. It did not. And it's kind of catching up to us where we were the beneficiary of some of those types of games where we won, and tonight we lost. But I am not giving up on this team or declaring any of the nonsense that a lot of you are. Sook, I'm serious when I say this. The last 13 years of Devils hockey have completely broken fan standards and what they should be for this team. To some extent, I agree with that. It does seem like a lot of the newer fans, and not to single them out, but a lot of the people that have become fans more recently, you know, they treat making the playoffs as if it's like this accomplishment to celebrate. And I'm here to tell you guys, which, you know, I've now said a million times, making the playoffs is absolutely nothing to celebrate. That should be a given. What you celebrate is winning rounds. Something that this team has only managed to do once, one single time in the past 13 years, and it makes me want to vomit. It makes me want to vomit. As an old school Devils fan who did grow up during the golden era of New Jersey Devils hockey, excellence on and off the ice at every position, making the playoffs was just known. We were making the playoffs. The question was, how far will the boys go? And to this extent, Sook, I do agree that a lot of the newer fans have just accepted a much lower standard to where, yeah, making the playoffs is something to celebrate. I'm certainly not going to celebrate it. John, hopefully they figure out everything out before Saturday night against the Flyers. Otherwise, it's a possible 3-game losing streak incoming. I hope not. I really hope that we have an offensive explosion in Philadelphia because we desperately, desperately need it. Desperately. Ryder, thank you. Get Eric out of the chat, please. Please hold. I'm a couple minutes behind here, as always, but Eric, where's Eric? I haven't even hit his comments yet. Oh, Eric is a Ranger fan? Let me see. Did he do anything boot-worthy? I mean, guys, you shouldn't want to boot him just because he's a Ranger fan, though. I'm looking to see. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like he said anything crazy. All right, I'll keep an eye on it, Ryder. I don't want to be in the habit of just booting people because they're fans of other teams. I think that's corny. I really only boot people if you're really disrespectful or if you do something that could possibly compromise me in the channel in some way. But I will monitor the situation. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. All right, we got Islanders fans in here. Look at this. We got Islander fans in here. What's up, Danny Broder? We got Islander fans. We got Ranger fans. Man, everyone coming out when the Devils lose. Oh my God, is there any Canes fans in here tonight? I'm sure there's some Canes fans in here. All right, let me. I'm trying to skip ahead here. Ice Cube, my Ice T thought we were banging winning for sure those last few seconds. It certainly seemed like it. They were on the doorstep and just couldn't get it done. Ryder says, got goalie, props to Bobrovsky. I said it before, I don't think it was quite goalie, but he definitely played a big part in the win. Ice Cube, I see the two teams with the eating-related injuries. Yeah, right? I've called it powerless. I've called it powerless plenty of times in the past. John says, I hate loser beverages. Got to shoot the puck high on Bob. Zupamaki overpaying Luke for 3 or 4 years to get possibly a decent year or two out of him fits management. I mean, your math is not mathing, my guy. Didn't he sign a 7-year deal? I'm pretty sure it was a 7-year, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it'll be considered a value in his 3rd year. It was a 7-year, yeah. I think you overpay for 2 years, and then years 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is 5. Count them 5 years of where he's considered a good deal and a good value contract. So I don't know. John 757 got to come out and capitalize early against Philly on Saturday for sure. Obviously, scoring first and scoring early on in the game, better to play with a lead than chasing. But my God, it just seemed like halfway through the game tonight, it seemed like it was just going to be a night where the Devils couldn't get a goal, and sure enough, it ended that way. But Ice Cube, my Ice T, thanks. If we win or lose, hit the like button. Yeah, hit the thumbs up for your boy. Luke, every goalie is that dude, Ace. That's not true. Bob wasn't really tested until late. Florida dominated in their zone. I mean, in fairness, Luke, I feel like you may have gone over to the dark side a little bit, Luke. In fairness to the Devils, they did not play scrubs the last 2 games. They went up against one of the best goalies in the world in Vasilevsky, and then they got another one of a very good goalie in Bobrovsky tonight. It's not like we were making these journeyman goalies look phenomenal. And I'll be the first to say I do not think Bobrovsky was tested nearly enough tonight. They let him see the puck too cleanly. I think we could have done a better job of screening him and kind of maybe, getting in his kitchen a little bit, going to the net hard, crashing the crease. There wasn't nearly enough of that, but he did play a very good game. Yeah, Bob saw every single shot for the most part. There's a couple that he didn't see that he stopped where he kind of got lucky. David Chimes. Team played a decent game except second period, got caught up ice too much. Florida played hard, better team tonight. Both goalies were very good. Tampa Bay effort was awful. This was just decent. I think that's a pretty good assessment. You guys love fighting with True Patriot. Ace, Jake has been the better goalie as of late and would let Jake have the job until Markey starts to look better. Yeah, the only thing is you got to get Markey going at some point. But we also need points desperately. I 100% go with Jakeallen in the next game, but I won't be shocked if it's Markey. And if it is Markey, hopefully he plays much better than he did against Tampa. David, game in Philly, the rubber game in the road trip. You want to get 5 of 10 points on the road. I'd be thrilled with 6. I really wanted 7. Before the road trip, I said I think that the Devils are going to go 3-1-1. And here we are now at 2-2. So if they beat Philly, they could salvage a 3-2. 6 out of 10 points wouldn't be disastrous. Luke says, for the record, I like Markstrom. I go to games and love a player that is great with the fans. Markstrom seems like a great dude. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter when playing goal. Yeah. Stickfigs, got to say Allen is such a clutch goalie. Last year, too, pretty sure his record would have been much better if the team didn't lay some eggs in front of him. He could have asked for so much more this year. No, absolutely. Teams were going to pay him, $4 to $5 million. That's what all the reports were. And he wanted to stay in Jersey. He took the team friendly, and he is forever a franchise legend for it. Yeah, the nights like tonight are painful. My God. We got Islander fans in here, Ranger fans, Devils fans fighting each other. This is like the Royal Rumble here. Luke says, this loss doesn't equal the team sucks. The Tampa game would, if Markey didn't deep six them. If Markstrom's in net Saturday, I'm going to lose it. Bear with me, guys. My phone's blowing up. A lot of people are pissed off about this game. Ben Jam says, once again, Fitz, Akira Schmid out in Vegas. I said it. You guys love bringing up Schmid. Akira Schmid's my boy. Franchise legend forever on this channel. Paul Pass, teams are trapping us. Teams are putting 3 guys on the blue line at all times. We aren't retrieving enough pucks in D-zone, but they played okay today. Yeah, but unfortunately, okay is not good enough on a lot of nights, and tonight was one of them. But this team really needs to get it together and figure out how they are going to stack some points while our boy Jack is on the mend. Oh, and sorry, guys, I missed these. Thank you for the super Prezify. The free fall starts now, unfortunately. I have to disagree. And it's the same reason why I was so high on this team coming into the season and why I will continually have faith in them despite all the injuries, despite Jack being down, is because the D and goaltending are pretty damn good. I mean, that is the reality. And so how many times are we going to get shut out? I do think this team is capable of winning a lot of 2-1 games that were like tonight, similar to tonight's game, but come out on the winning side of it. They got to figure out how to muster up a couple goals, but we're not going to get shut out every game. And I do think there's going to be a lot of starts where hopefully Markey's involved in this as well. But Jake Allen is capable of shutting teams down. And you saw it tonight. I mean, he deserved a win. My heart goes out to him. He really deserved a win tonight, and he got nothing in return from this team. Bobby, we should send Luke to Utica and bring up Edwards. Luke Hughes is never going to Utica, guys. Let's be real. I would like to see Edwards get a look at some point. You guys know I've been high on Edwards for a while. Every time I've ever seen him live over the past couple of years, he's always stood out to me and seemed pretty impressive. He looked good in the Prospects Challenge and preseason. And so I would like to see him get a look at some point. And maybe with all these injuries, at some point he will. But in the end, the defense wasn't the story of tonight. The story of tonight was Jake Allen standing on his face and the offense, abandoning him. Unfortunately. More fighting in the chat. What's up, Tasha? Says, I miss Akira. Mario says there's no reason he should be on most of these streams as a Rags fan. Luke just says, I just realized guys are fighting in the chat. Rag fans creeping around is funny. SS teaches the Devils' renaissance starts with Markstrom in goal in Philly. Maybe it is just the place for him to, how Markey got his groove back. Maybe to go in there and shut down the Flyers. I don't know. Jason says, the whole team is slow. It's not dooming. This is the team they are. They're a little above average. They'll get hot again. They really have been on the weak side for a month. This is the team. I mean, but it's not the team. It's the current version of the team. That's without 2 of our top 6 defensemen, without our franchise center, without, who else are we missing? Without our third line center. I mean, we're missing a whole lot. And so, yeah, you're right that it's the team at the moment, but it is not the, the healthy version of the team. It's very different. Stickfix says, if Bobby Brightside is turning dark, we may be in a bit of trouble. Boy, Collect Record says, Tasha, just block all the trolls from other teams and the experience here improves 2,000%. David, what's going on? What's up, Ace? Trying to be positive, but Allen played a great game. Reinhardt's goal was a shooter shot. It really was. Luke had to do something on that play, but, Reinhardt made an insane play. John NJDevils 45, did you hear the report from Emily Kaplan? There's talk Jack can be back for Christmas. I don't know where she got that from. I did see people talking about that online. I would be stunned. It'd be a Christmas miracle, like I said. I would love to see it happen. I just feel like that's not very likely, given that the team always seems to kind of round down, if you will. As someone pointed out on Twitter or somewhere I was reading it, it's so crazy how it's happened. That timeline has passed already. But they were saying originally that Pesci was going to be out for about a month, and it's already been about a month. I don't think he's anywhere near coming back. And so when the team said 8 weeks for Jack, he will be reevaluated at 6 weeks, in my head, I was like, oh, God, I would love to see it actually be 8 weeks. I hope it's not 10 or 12. But now to say that it could be, that he could be back for Christmas would be that they overestimated the injury, and that typically is not how it works. But I hope that is the case. No one would be happier than I if our boy Jack returned anywhere around Christmas. Because as of now, I'm thinking based on the 8 weeks they said, we were talking mid-January. Luke, this team shouldn't be unable to score with Nico, Meyer, Bratt, Gritz, Hamilton, Luke Hughes, Nemitz, Brown, Nason. Completely agree. Getting shut out with the players we have is just unacceptable. Stickfix, don't worry, guys. I've been in the chat since the beginning of the lives, and Ace hasn't called me stupid yet. You guys are probably safe. Eric, the Ranger fan, says Jack will get back on Christmas. The Devils will win, and the celebration will be team dinner. Oh, boy. SST says Vitek Vanacek is the only goalie to get 30 wins in a season for the Devils after Brodeur. While that may be true, the only other goalie in the past 30-some-odd years to win a playoff series besides the great Martin Brodeur is none other than Akira Schmid, my friends. A franchise legend. Luke, Ace is top notch. I understand his passion and desire to have faith. I'm a little older, and this is words to me than the late 80s into 90s, and that is because of HBS and Boost Face. Oh, boy. You guys are really, if we had won this game, I'd be so curious what everyone would be saying. But I get it. But I just think it's a drastic overreaction by many. Suk, they're not likely to hold on to even the third place spot while Jack is out. Players can't score. More positivity. Bobby, again, thank you. Don't badmouth Luke. You'll get an earful from David Chimes. Haha. For the record, I respect David. No, I like David too. I'm not badmouthing Luke, but I'm not going to say, when there's a play like that, you got to make the play. I'm not one of these people that's been ragging on him all season. You look in the chat what people are saying about Luke. I'm not saying any of that stuff. I'm just pointing out that you got to make a play in that spot. But it is what it is. They're not going to make all the plays, unfortunately, and that one was the game. Some of these comments in the chat are ridiculous. Ben Jam, the only reason this wasn't a Hiroshima meltdown is Jake Allen. I think that's a kind of overreaction. We outshot them. Again, granted, some of them were not great shots, but we had 30-plus shots. Luke says, pulling their weight, Allen, Cotter, Nemitz, Dillon. Mario, if we lose a third in a row to Philly, then I'm going to get real concerned. Obviously, that would be pretty damaging. David, Timo invisible tonight. Bratt was flying. Nico may be a little hobbled. He's not making beast plays the past few games. Timo really looked invisible. I don't harp on him often, but tonight, no pep, for sure. Except at the end. That last shift with the extra attacker, he was noticeable and in the mix. But outside of that, he was pretty quiet. Cristiano says a competent GM would have dumped Palat months ago. I mean, I'll put it to you this way, Cristiano. How many teams do you think were begging to take Palat? Do you think there's a huge market for him? Because I don't. Samuel says, celebrate raising a cup. Everything else is bull. Completely agree. Cup or bust. Mia says, I think we beat the Flyers. That'd be nice. SJ, this team couldn't even make the playoffs for a long time. Yeah, that is very true. Alan, Ace, not talking about tonight in general, but to me, Timo just does not. Some of you guys are brutal. I got to do like deciphering. Ace, not talking about tonight in general, but to me, Timo just does not fit with this team. I guess it does happen for whatever reason. I mean, what do you mean he doesn't fit though? I have to disagree. How does he not fit? Crazy Alex's Flyers is a must-win game. I can't give it a must. I've told my kind of stance on must-wins. I can't call things must-wins that aren't legitimately must-wins, but it is a very, very important game, obviously. The fifth game of a road trip that we are now 2-2 on, and we're looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak. It is a pretty damn big game. Hey, Russos, Nico plus second for Tage Thompson. You doing it? Oh, boy. I would need a really long time to think about that. I love Nico. But that's a very tempting proposal there. I'll tell you this. If I was not a diehard Devils fan and had no attachment to Nico and I was just brought in to be the GM of this team, I would say, especially with the contract situation, given that Tage Thompson, I think, is signed for like 6 more years at $7.1 million or something. In that regard, it's a no-brainer. But obviously, when you're posing the question to me, I am a diehard Devils fan. I love this team. I love Nico. And so it brings emotion and kind of other stuff into it. But if I was kind of an outside whatever in terms of value, that would be a slam dunk deal for the Devils, in my opinion. Stick Figs Eastern Conference Finals are bust. Anything short of making, if not winning the conference finals, is failure. I completely agree. David Ace, I'm wondering what you think about the standings. Colorado is 13-1-5, and the Devils were 13-5-1. And people think the Avs are better. Both records are 13-6 because an OT loss is still a loss, right? Wait, 13-1-5, and the Devils were 13. Yeah, but I think in terms of the standings, the first tiebreaker, I think, is regulation or one of the. It eventually goes to, if you're 13-1-5, you would be ahead of a team 13-5-1. Regulation losses is one of the criteria when they start going down the list. Jubilee says we're allowing Ranger fans. I allow everybody. Just don't be a dick. Come one, come all. Just don't be disrespectful and But listen, I will say I wanted it always to be a community where fans of other teams could come in and talk hockey if they want. I love talking to opposing fans when I go to road games, and I've had tons of great conversations with fans of other teams. I just don't like it when fans of other teams come in here and start trolling and are, ruthless type behaviors. Danny's chat is growing. Sook, SST and I were banned before Rag Fan. The world is upside down. Maddie Mo Money. Respect to Ace, man of class. Thank you. Stickfix, Ace, if you just had moderators, we would be able to tell you that Eric is fine. I'll eventually get to it, guys. I have a very long to-do list. It's on there. Tasha's plot twist. Danny Brodeur is an SST alt. Captain THC, what's up? I think this was a quality game by NJ versus the Cup champs. Solid effort until the end. Allen was on point. The one he led in was a sick goal by Reinhart. If Markey was in net tonight, it may have been 5-0. Still sucks that we lost, but, Allen was a beast. I'm still furious about the loss. Evan says the trolls come when the Devils start to lose. Clearly. And then we get trolled by other Devils fans. Mario says the chat is growing with more non-Devils fans. Oh, boy. A Russo, only Jack, Nemo, Brat, and Luke should be untouchables. Wouldn't mind moving out the rest for big pieces. Jack, Nemo, Brat, and Luke. Interesting. So you omitted Timo, who I don't think they're going to trade, and Nico, who I don't think they're going to trade either. Mario says, just send the whole East Coast here at this point. Running with the Metro. I don't know what's going on. SST and Tasha. Snow Devil, it isn't just Jaker pulling his weight. The whole D, excluding Luke, is playing well. For the forwards, Mercer and Grits have been playing well. Brownie and Kotz played well this game, too. No, I mean, you got to credit the defense, right? Still without Pesci and Kovacevic. And, only gave up one goal tonight. The defense has been playing pretty damn good, but the offense needs to emerge as something that could do something. I mean, getting shut out is brutal. Completely brutal. And I'm skimming the comments here. I'm trying to catch up again. Richard says, 13-6-1 after 20. I'd sign up for that in a minute. 40 years I've been watching this team. Tough and fickle crowd here. We didn't lose tonight. We got beat. Effort was strong, but didn't hit the twine. Don't be sensible, Richard. These people don't want to hear sensible opinions. They just want to tell you the sky is falling and the season's over. Here comes the losing streak. Gleason says, I already assumed we were going to slide at least a little, which everyone should have, obviously. I'm not an optimistic guy at this point in my fandom, but I'm not a full doomer either. I just don't trust Fitz to make this a contender. Wait a minute. Is this Roman Czechmanic? I think isn't that Czechmanic in the photo? Some of you guys change the names up and it throws me through a loop. Mechanicsville says Alan Markstrom have to be 50-50 right now until Markey settles down. No, I mean, I completely agree, but I would like to see Allen get a stretch of games. We got Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Essentially, we are the opposite of the Rags. Great at home, not great on the road. We need to fix our issues on the road. Trade Palat in the third for Pickles. I don't think that's getting it done, Bobby. And Palat has trade protection, so it's going to be tough. I can't see them doing that deal. And maybe started, juicing them with picks or something. No, but still, Palat's going to block it. That's going to be a tough one. But yeah, for sure, great at the Rock. And on the road, it's a different story. Hopefully they can figure that out and start playing well on the road. But thank you, Bobby. I lost my spot here. Tasha. Yeah, no, I know Edwards is called up, but I want to see him play in a game. Stop sending supers to be negative. Evan says, screw Markey. We want Allen. Devil Dog. Isles 1 point back after their win tonight. And, man, Schaefer is a fun kid to watch. If you're not, and my buddy Pat, shout out to my boy Pat. He's an Islanders fan, and him and his sons are really enjoying this emergence of Schaefer. They really haven't had much to be happy about for kind of, I mean, I guess they went to the conference finals not that long ago. But I mean, this kid's going to win Rookie of the Year, and he's looking like he's going to be the next kind of beastly offensive defenseman in the league. Lapine, Nico is hurting. Anyone who has watched him for 5 minutes over the years knows this. LeChance should play Timo, Nico, Jesper. Timo can only play with Nico. Okay. I showed several of your messages already. There's more people. The chats. People have to understand over time now there's more chats in the thing. So like the percentage of messages that get shown are just less because there's a lot of messages. I'm already, I'm 20 minutes behind again. That's what I'm saying. All right, let me skip ahead. There's just too many, and I get stuck behind. All right, I'm warp speeding ahead here. Some of these comments are crazy. Doomers are going to doom, apparently. Oh, that's nothing new. You already know. You know how it goes. Doomers going to doom. Bobby says, not a single team wants Plot. What a complete waste of $6 million. I could see some teams taking him if we sweeten the pot and or retained money on him. I could see someone potentially wanting him, but it would have to be a decent team or else he's not going to go there. He has trade protection. Tasha says, why are the names changed from screen names to usernames? I don't know. It's nothing I did. Is everyone's thing different? You're asking the wrong person. I don't know how this shit works. Maybe they changed it on YouTube. I don't know. Some of the names seem the same, though. So YouTube started using @ names instead of channel names, trying to be like every other garbage platform. Benjamin says we need to dump the emotional attachments and make serious moves. What type of serious moves are you talking about, Benjamin? Matt Momoney says, I'm a Canes fan, but much of my fam are Devils fans. Love keeping tabs with this team through Ace. Keep up the great work, man. Devils fans are lucky to have you. I appreciate that, Maddie. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully we can bounce our team this year in the playoffs. I would be really, really happy to do that for you, Maddie Mo. To see the Devils bounce their Canes finally, because they have owned us for so damn long. David Chimes says, a couple of YouTubers who know their stuff think Nico is playing through something. I think they might be right. Not seeing beast moves in the ozone like I usually do. Yeah, he definitely seems like he's a little toned down overall. What's going on, Ryan? Devils says call Bordelot up. And no, I don't care that he isn't doing crap in the AHL. He has offensive ability. I've said a million times, guys, that I don't care about the AHL stats either. You know, especially on teams that are struggling, like a lot of guys are going to have bad stats, including goalies. You know, even last year, I think Dawes had pretty bad numbers on Utica, but he looked pretty damn good when he was with the big club. And so a lot of people were saying about LeChance and Haminaho early on were like, oh, you know, they're not doing anything in Utica. Like, you can't call them up. But, like, I don't care. If they have any sort of game, bring them up and see what they could do. Thanks, A. Russo. Give a thumbs up for your boy one time and for this pathetic shutout loss. Wow, Tasha, tell us how you really feel. Says Bordelot has been cheeks. Thought he was supposed to be some great improvement or something. I was fed off-season propaganda. Oh, there's certainly a lot of off-season propaganda out there. I will tell you that. There's propaganda of all kinds. There's propaganda that told you when we got Sprong how amazing he was and how he was, you know, amongst the elites of the game in different categories. I mean, there's a lot of propaganda out there, and especially with potential trades. People are texting me about trade rumors that aren't even real trade rumors. I'm like, I don't think these are even legitimate rumors. They're just people speculating, and then it gets out there in the world, and then people regurgitate it as if it's like on the verge of happening. Interesting stuff. Mario says, I'm fine with losing a few in a row as long as they consistently win after that for the most part. Yeah, that'd be nice. Then a cup win. Oh, Mario, you're so young. You'll see one. You'll see one in your lifetime. I could only hope that I do. Devil says we are going 6-14 on our next 20. That's a pretty wild, a wild prediction. Tosh says the double, no move, no trade on Palat was foul. He's not going anywhere. Mario says going to the Devils Red Wings game on Monday. Very nice. 6-4 or 7-13. Oh, I got to reward you guys. I mean, I'm gonna do a hat giveaway. Bear with me 1 second. Let's do a hat giveaway. Winter cap. I still have some remaining. The heavier, edgier, more violent. Hold on 1 second. Be right back. 1 second. We're gonna do a hat giveaway before I forget. I got to find my trusty pad, but it's freezing cold in New Jersey now. It's full winter time. This is the last year's the exclusive drop. The heavier, edgier, more violent. And this is stitched on there, folks. This is no cheap screen printing. This is stitched on there. Heavy embroidery, heavier, edgier, more violent. And then, of course, we got the thick patch on the back, the running with the Devils. If you have one of these hats, you're one of the cool kids. Oh, shit. I'm hitting all kinds of stuff. And we're giving this away right now. Let me get my handy pad. I'm going to do the pad move because that's my favorite move. How many people are in here? 87. We're going to do the guess the number thing. We'll go guess the number. Hold on, all right, is 84 people in here? So fair warning, the contest is about to happen. So let me just scroll to the bottom here to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, so there's 85 people in here. We're gonna go. Do I want to do the number? Or I want to do something more obscure. I'll do the number. The number is between 1 and 90. The first person to put it in the chat that gets it right will get it. 1 to 90. Put it in the chat. Oh, shit. You guys started guessing before. Hold on. Oh, man. All right. Wow. Nobody yet. This is unbelievable. We got no winner yet. I'm still looking. Nope, no one hit it yet. John wrote, who do I think gets the start on Saturday? It should be Allen. You have to reward a performance like that. It's not even necessarily an anti-Markstrom move. It's just Jake Allen played his ass off, did not get the win because the team couldn't score for him, put him right back out there. But I won't be surprised if it's Markey. I mean, hopefully if it is Markey, he gets the dub. How has no one got this yet? And shame on some of you. This is the longest this has ever taken. The numbers, Ryan, is to guess to win a hat. How has nobody got it? This is nuts. I mean, this is definitely the longest one of these has ever gone. I thought someone had it, but nope. We have a winner. We have a winner. We have a winner. And the winner is... Oh, you can't. Jay Snow. Now, someone point out if I missed one before that, but to my knowledge, Jay Snow was the first 68. Oh, you can stop guessing. Jay Snow is the winner unless someone proves that there was a 68 before that I missed. But I don't think there was. That is right, my friend. 68 for Jaromir Jagr, one of the greatest legends to ever play this game. And he was a brief New Jersey Devil, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, my God. I would never type 68. Couldn't stand Jagr being in our team. How crazy are you? Who wouldn't want to see Jagr? Which, by the way, hold on. I got another quick little show and tell item. Is it over here? Oh, no, it's over here. I've talked about in the past how, I don't really buy jerseys to wear of newer players, but I do love the player tees. And I just found a box or a bag the other day when I was digging through some old stuff. And one of the many player tees over the years, number 68, Jaromir Jagr. But congratulations to Jay Snow. Shoot me an email with your info, sir. And this heavier, edgier, more violent, hopefully this team returns. We see glimpses of it here and there, but the heavier, edgier, more violent cap will be going out to Jay Snow, who correctly guessed 68, which was for Jaromir Jagr. Bobby said my first guess was 68. Well, did I miss it? Wait, why are people still guessing numbers? It's long over. The numbers might be a bad one because it's so hard to go. Bobby said he said 68. And A. Russo said I said 68. Can I control F this? I'm doing a replay. Bobby and A. Russo both they claim they said 68 before him, but I'm not seeing it just yet. Bobby said 63. Oh, wait a minute. That might be the first 68. There's a 66 from Bobby. And a 69 from Bobby. Damn, there's so many numbers thrown out here, but that's official Sir. Is that, I don't know how to say that. It's not Sergey. Sergey? Bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to. There's a 60 from Bobby. And a 25. A lot of people put 69. All right, I'm done with the number thing. I got to figure out a different system because this guy usually doesn't take this long. I'm almost done. Sir G, or however you say this, was the first one, but I already said Snow won, so we'll have 2 winners. Where the hell is the Snow 68 on here? Oh my God, the same numbers over and over. I'm getting dizzy. Oh, so we have. Oh, now I got to take pictures of the shit with my phone. I messed up. It was Crazy Furious. So we have that. A Russo did come in at 10:58. All right, so we'll have a few winners. My bad. Numbers are a bad idea. All right, we have 3 winners. A Russo, Sir G, Sir, however you say it. No, there's no redo. There's gonna be 3 winners. Snow had one. Snow had one. Sergi and A Russo. Shoot me an email. The hats will be going out. We have 3 winners tonight. Congratulations! Thank you all for participating. The numbers just gave me. I just got dizzy trying to get back on here. All right. Crazy says, do another batch. I'll actually buy this time. I might do something. I'm trying to figure it out. I'll put my email in the chat. Snow, A Russo, and Jay Snow, A Russo, and so I'm gonna say Surge because I don't know how to pronounce that. Shoot me an email. We'll get these things out. My email's in the chat. Frank, Timo, Bratt, and Nico have a total of 14 goals this year. Let that sink in. Eventually, this core will be broken up. It's why I put out that video earlier in the year that I entitled The Last Dance, because I felt that for a variety of reasons, this could be the last dance for this team. And it might be. It'd be sad, but we'll see. Hopefully it's a deep run for the boys. Do you remember winning? Pepperidge Farm remembers? Pepperidge Farm remembers what? I know Pepperidge Farm makes some banging cookies. What was the good Pepperidge Farm ones in the bag back in the day? Maybe in the future you can do a pick a number with a smaller range, like until 30. Yeah, but I mean, then I don't know. Then it's Michael says alphabetical draw, 26 letters in the hat. Most recent comment with beginning letter wins as soon as you pick out of the hat. That's an interesting one. A heavier, edgier, more violent hat. And 1 Cadillac Escalade. No, I'm kidding. Just the heavier, edgier, more violent hats. Congratulations to A. Russo. Richard says, at the Avs game, Chico wanted to steal my hoodie. Chico Resch? Golden puck. Who does Kovacevic play with when he gets back? I don't know. I think there's so many variables. Like, I think it depends on who's still healthy on defense at that point. So it's just way too early to know. It depends on who's healthy when he gets back. I'm sure we're going to have tons more injuries between now and then. I mean, he might not be back till February something. No doing during the numbers things. Ace, can we make a trade? I get a hat and you get many cookies. What kind of cookies you got? Milanos. Yeah, those are the Milanos. But there was other ones too. But those, I definitely like the Milanos. But then there was other, I forget what kind. There was like circular ones too. The Milano's more like oval, right? But there was circular Pepperidge Farm cookies that I liked too. Next batch needs to be heavier, edgier, more injured. Jason, Ace, your thoughts on Nico as a captain? I like Nico. It took me some time to. I've always liked Nico, but in terms of a captain, I am an old school fan, and so I was raised on the Scott Stevens captaincy, and obviously two wildly different players in a variety of ways. And I always wanted the captain to be a guy more like Stevens. And if I'm being honest, I still to this day would prefer a guy like that if I had my pick. With that being said, guys like him are a dying breed, and we don't have any. Part of the reason why I love the Tkachuk brothers so much. They're just absolute dogs, and they have a little bit of that element in them. The Devils don't really have any guys like that, and Nico is just such a complete player and really wants to win. And you know, not everyone leads the same, right? And that's the thing I kind of realized as I got a little bit older is like, not everyone's going to do it the same way Stevens did it. Not everyone's going to do it the way this guy does it. And so I understand a lot of people kind of have that mindset like, oh, he's not a captain, but it's just wrong. It's just, you know, different guys have different ways to lead. And Nico's is different than what some people are accustomed to, including myself for a long time. But I think he is a great captain, and we're fortunate to have him. Richard says, out of those three, the core, it's going to be Nico, unfortunately, because that contract is up well before Brader and Timo. Well, no. I mean, yes, but the contract really has nothing to do with it. If someone's traded, the contract, whenever the contract is up, is kind of irrelevant. Larry says, if we go down like last dance down, hopefully Fitzy is the first to go. Every time we play the Caps, I think of those cookies. What's going on, Maria? Tasha says, Chico Resch or the other Chico? Jason won the hat. I won the Escalade. Pepperidge Farm Montauk in the bag or slamming. Oh, I think, yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Pepperidge. Yeah, there was like, I think they were like, are those the chunky chocolate chip cookies? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm pulling up the images right now. Yeah, the Montauks are fire. Mm-hmm. Now we're talking the soft baked milk chocolate. Yes, sir. Those are good. Oh, yeah, they got the Sausalito milk chocolate macadamia. Oh, man. I might be going to the local convenience store and doing some damage tonight. Where's your – I'm going to walk in there and be like, can you please direct me to your Pepperidge Farm display case? Por favor, I'm looking to crush cookies right now. Awesome, awesome. I'll be looking for that. Got your email. Oh, no, I was right. So it is Serge. Okay, very good. Have your message there. Coconut cookie. I'm not a coconut guy. I almost said I'm not a cookie guy. Clearly, I'm a cookie guy, not a coconut guy. Definitely not a coconut guy. Jason, I grew up on those Devils, and I want more dogs on this team. I think we're severely missing that element. Completely agree. I've been saying that for 3 years. You ain't got to convince me of that. 2 summers ago, Fitz, when he declared heavier, edgier, more violent was a need, we took a step in the right direction, but we need to take another step in that direction. Dilly, Kovacevic, Cotter, Nason, that was kind of a step in that direction, but we need more. Luke says Florida plays like the 90s, and it's so beautiful, isn't it? It is beautiful. Second prize is a set of steak knives. What an excellent, one of the most iconic scenes. Me and my buddies always make that joke. You're fired. What a classic. Captain THC makes a great point. The team itself is happy with Nico as captain. That is what mostly matters. It's true. Maybe behind closed doors, I'd like him to be a little bit tougher than I anticipate him to be. I mean, again, we're not there, so we don't know. But I don't think he's going to, get as aggressive with guys when it calls for it. But I think that's probably league-wide, honestly, guys. For a lot of the other old-school fans that are kind of chiming in that are, that are similar to my age or age in fandom, guys did shit back then that they couldn't do now. There was physical fights. Guys would yoke guys up. Guys would get, maybe a little slight choke slam or a shove. You do that now, these guys are probably calling the union rep and filing paperwork and shit. So it's part of society and the world we live in. It's very much different. And I think a lot of this kind of goes hand in hand with that. And so begins the food talk. Maria says, not much going on. It's the New Jersey Jake Allen. Yeah, maybe we should change the logo on the jersey to a big snake. Brett Pesci's probably coming back in about a month. Someone in here had an inside connection. Again, who knows how much is true, but they said the source told them that Pesci would probably be back mid-December to Christmas time. Richard, I'm the last of 6. Wow. My brother in front of me was an ass of Jackness for years. Put Bosco, you know what that is, the chocolate syrup, all over a hockey puck and froze it. Thought it was a ring ding. Oh, man, you bit into that thing? That is now, that's a pretty good prank. Food talk has arrived. Mario, my dad has Pepperidge Farm too. He loves those, and I've seen him eat some during games. The Miko for captain. Pepperidge Farm department of any store is always a win. I also do really enjoy the Entenmann's, the small soft baked in that little box with the window. Those are deadly. Natasha says, in seriousness, if we drop Palat, give Dilly the A. I would do it, but it's clear that the next, if an A should become available, it's clearly going to Bratter. Mario, getting some dogs is what we need because it just can't all be fast with smaller guys, and then come playoffs need to be tough. Yeah, I want the soldiers. Soldiers. Hockey was so violent back then. It was. Natasha, I think when Jack retires, he'll 100% be a coach, and I think Palat becomes GM of the Devils. Oh, boy. Larry says, I'm fine with our captain. If he does leave, that C has to go to Jack. I think that clearly would be the pecking order. In a world where we are without Nico Hischier, which would be a very sad world, by the way. That'd be very sad times. If that was to happen, I do think that they would give the C to Jackie Boy, which, makes sense. Franchise player. At that point, he would have been here for however many years. So Captain says Nico isn't going anywhere, dummy. Benjamin, Entenmann's chocolate chips kick ass too. Don't eat those. They're for company. Oh, boy. Wait, hey, Russo, you still in here? Bob gave up 5 goals in his last game. Natasha says, Rangers making JT Miller captain was such an idiot move. No, I saw people that said they thought, Trocheck should have got it, but I don't really care what they do. That's their prerogative. Doesn't affect me whatsoever. I don't care. Wait. I don't care who they make captain. Soup just admitted he can't read a full sentence. Surprise. You need a captain that plays more games than Jack does. I mean, It's kind of a fair point, too. Jay Snow, with our scoring problems and Marquis play recently, we could be in trouble. I mean, we could be in trouble. We could also be fine. Could is a very interesting word. Let's see how it plays out. We've played two very good goalies the last two games, obviously, and not to excuse the performances, but I thought obviously tonight was a exponentially better performance than in Tampa. And so, okay, I got a Russo's email. Just waiting on your email, Snow. Natasha, Bradder's way quieter than Jack, too. So if you're talking captain, he strikes me less of captain material. Yeah, I like kind of loud, aggressive captains. But like I said before, it's a different league now, and a lot of guys aren't like that. And it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. Kieran says, give the C to Quinn when he gets here. That's definitely not going to happen. There's no chance. I think he's definitely coming, but he's not going to get the C. Ted, Ace, which Girl Scout cookies do you like? Ooh, that's a good one. In no particular order, my favorite, my two favorites would be the peanut butter tagalongs and the thin mint are definitely my two favorites. What are the other ones that I like? I guess Samoas are decent, but no, I mean, by far to me, peanut butter tagalongs and thin mint are the top two. Tasha, I mean, Bradder basically already has an A because Jack is always injured. So you guys are ruthless. Ruthless. SJ, I want to see if they'll play well without 86 at the Rock. Well, we're going to find out in a few days. Back home Monday in action against the Detroit Red Wings. Tasha has Thin Mints and Samoas. Good night. Devil Dog, Colorado 4, New York Rangers 3, late in third. Whoops, no wonder Eric is gone. Gleason, I don't eat any junk food that's not fresh really anymore. What do you mean fresh? Like, is McDonald's fresh junk food? I'm curious. As opposed, I was telling you to email, but I just saw your email come in. Dun, dun, dun. John Fay, I know we are Devils fans, but go Avs, go. I hate the Avalanche so much, stemming back from the 2001 Cup Finals. I've talked about this a million times. But it would be so sweet to rematch them in the Cup Finals 25 years later after that 2001 series for a Devils Avalanche 2026 Cup Final. That'd be pretty damn stellar, in my opinion. Scary, but awesome. What was the win-o-meter tonight? That's actually a good question. It's probably – I would think the Devils might have the advantage in this one, but probably not by a lot. No, I was wrong. So wrong. Yeah, they're really taking into consideration, I guess, the quality of the shots, which is fair. Flipping the graphic. Wow. You ask for the deserve to win-o-meter. You shall receive. There it was. 1,000 simulations. Devils 36.4% to the Cats 63.7%, which somehow, I guess it's off by a tenth of a point. That would technically add up to 100.1. Mario says, I should have been asleep like an hour ago for school, but it'll be worth it because I got to be here. Glad you enjoy it, my man. Mario, shoot me an email, man. You're getting a hat too. Young supporter. Appreciate you. Send me an email. I got a hat going to you too. I just put my email in the chat again. Crazy Alex's coconut with the chocolate is the best in my opinion. I just can't be a coconut guy. I just can't be. But yeah, they deserve to win a meter. Devils buried in there. Gleason, where are you going to get the cap space from for Quinn? Oh, well, clearly Quinn and Dougie will not be here at the same time, you silly goose, Gleason. Quinn and Dougie do not overlap. Quinn's coming in, and Dougie will already be gone or on the way out right after. Curious to see what that Nemo contract's going to be scary. Going to be very scary. Collect Record says, I'm with you. Peanut butter or championship cookies. Zamboozes. I want a captain that can tell our team to lift the puck and shoot higher than pad level. Okay. Yeah, fresh junk food is a term I never heard before. Me either. I was curious. It was like what you call it? Was that like cooked junk food as opposed to packaged? John Fay, we are Devils fans who are supposed to be ruthless. James, watching Plot grind shifts out in person was great. He needs to play in a top 2 line and we will get offense. I know it sounds crazy. I mean, not to me. When we have nothing going on, again, I said this, I think, in the last post-game live. I was like, we've seen at different points when Jack was healthy that they tried other guys in the top line for a game or whatever it was. And then usually, like clockwork, Palat always ended up back there. And I think Jack, and Bratter probably have a lot of say in that to some extent. I'm sure they tell the coaching staff, like, give us Palat. We like playing with him. Larry says, you're complaining about your age, Ace, but when you get my age, the cookie conversation doesn't last long. What does that mean? I just mean cookies and cakes and stuff. I don't eat any of the shelf-stable junk, really, like Entenmann's. All the shit with all preservatives. You want cooked junk food, fresh junk food. John Fay, that's a rematch would feed families. Ace feed families. I think it would feed generations. A fully healthy Devils squad against the Avalanche in the 2026 Cup Finals. If that happens, your boy will be at every single game, home and away. SJ, no snipers on this team that can pick corners, all playmakers. I'd agree we have a lot of playmakers, but I do think Grits, if not already a certified sniper, will be one very soon. We really need another guy who's strong on the walls and physically. Pally goes to those areas. There's no way we deserved it. I thought it was going to be close to even with the Devils getting maybe the slight edge. But no, I guess the quality of shots really comes into play at some point, I guess, which I knew they did. But I guess there's a good percentage kind of weighted on that because, we were severely lower than them in the deserve to win a meter. Benjamin says, Dougie better than Quinn. I don't know about that. Listen, I'm a Dougie guy. I am a Dougie guy. I love Dougie. I will probably cry on the program whenever we, part ways with Dougie. And I hope it's not at the earliest, I hope it's this summer after hopefully a Stanley Cup run. But I do have a real fear that because it is the easiest way to kind of fix multiple problems at once, I have a fear that it could happen at the trade deadline, and I will be gutted if that happens. These lives are goated. Thanks. The call-ins are coming back. I love that jacket. Ace with like a black-white version. I've never seen the jacket. I do have a cool polo. Let me see 1 second. I might have a hat too. Yeah, I actually never debuted this. This is, what's that heat? Oh, they don't even know about this hat. Sheesh. This hat is fire, isn't it? Yeah, this hat is straight fire. Yep, this is a fire cap. Grits is the next Bondra. Interesting. Just send your address, bro. That's it. SJ, it's true. Pally is a good supportive player, decent on the walls. James, I'm telling you, every shift tonight, I had a perfect view. He was grinding, winning battles, but he has no supporting cast. We would cycle with him on the line, but he needs 2 guys with him. And that is one of those things where you could see stuff like that much better in person than you can on TV, because you see stuff that's not on screen. And that is one of the cool elements of one of the many of obviously seeing a game live versus watching on television. And there's pluses to watching on TV too, but stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I've defended Palat, not his contract, but I know that a lot of the negativity towards Palat stems from the money he makes. If he was making $2 or $3 million, no one's talking about it, but he's not. So people do talk about it. But I'm glad you pointed that out, James. Husky says McKinnon McCarr would own us, not to mention playing 2 of our former goaltenders. Stop wishing for that matchup. I'll still take it. Pally would be good with a guy like Brown. Faye would like to see that as a jersey. All black jersey with a white logo. Well, there was, I've showed this before. This was a warm-up jersey, which was sick, with the New Jersey on the crest, on the shoulder patches, rather, the state of New Jersey. This is a warm-up they did years ago, which was pretty cool. I really liked that one. I was a fan. No, this is a snapback. And this is, I'm not trying to be that guy, but this is that exclusive, not for sale. That's that Marty Brodeur Invitational situation right there. You see the MB30? This is a not for sale. This is that Marty golf tournament exclusive. That exclusive-ish. I got to fix the size on this. I actually never wore this. This is a sweet one. I'll be down to watch the Devils light up Blackwood. Plot is an anchor on every line he plays on. I have to disagree, just because what are some of the other guys doing? Some of these other guys, like, what are they doing? Husky, haven't heard the Peter Bondra name in a while. What a sniper. Yeah, Bondra, man. He was on some of those decent Washington teams with Ole the goalie. Olaf Kolzig. I would love that as our new jersey after the jerseys are gone. It would be a pretty cool one. Not going to lie. Benjamin, I'd like that ancient Jersey Devil from newsprint. What do you mean newsprint on the shoulder? Pavel Bore was certainly a sniper. And he got shut down in the first round of the 2000 playoffs by none other than Scotty Stevens and the rest of the boys. Anyone have anything else? It's almost that time. This is pretty sick, though. I'm a fan. I've heard good things about Bondra. What modern-day player would you guys compare him to? That's a good question. Who would you compare him to nowadays? I don't like the AI overview. They give crazy, they say Nathan McKinnon and Draisaitl, which I don't agree with. Sam Reinhart / Brock Besser. Natchez or Adam Fantilli. I think Natchez is probably more closely aligned for me. But that's a good one. I'll have to think about that one. John Fay, back to Dougie. I feel like that's what people don't understand. Dougie's injury prone and doesn't have that wicked slapper, but he brings so much more on the ice than people think. I agree. He will be missed when he's gone. He will certainly be missed when he's gone. James S., thank you for the super. There's no comment, so I will look to see if you left one elsewhere. The minute Dougie is gone, this team will feel it majorly. Completely agree. Completely agree. Richard says, agree on Pally, Jack, and Dano. Call him the wall miner. He really digs on the walls and gets the puck out of there. While the contract stinks, he gets the edge over Nason and Cotter right now. I think I agree with that. I'd like to see it as a jersey. Oh, I already read these. What the hell happened? I got bounced back in time. Sorry, folks. I don't know what the hell happened here. I got bounced back in time. The creepy guy from the 19th century print, Markey had it on his lid. Oh, you're talking about like the Jersey Devil on Markey's mask? Hey, Russo, you should do a meetup at a bar during a Devils game or something. That is coming soon. It's something I've been kind of deliberating about for a while. That's eventually coming. Stay tuned. It will happen, I promise. Ace, thanks for being a great rep for the boys. Thank you, sir. Let's go Devils. Benjamin, thanks, Ace. Always nice to get together here with all you guys. On we go. Yeah, I'm excited for the next one. Got to beat Philly. Husky says, Bore, Korea were my favorites back in the day. Legends. Who did they compare Luke Hughes to in his draft year? I have no idea. Richard, Dougie has a much heavier shot than Luke and wreaks havoc with the rebounds. I am a Dougie guy. You all know that. Yeah, I just realized that. The comments got slung. I got a slingshot backwards. Snow Devil, Dougie had some good shots on goal since coming back. Yeah, for sure. Mario, who else met Chico at the Stadium Series game? Yeah, Luke was compared to Quinn. Mario, my dad has met all the guys with the banner. Very cool. Amagi says, Dougie is great. Send Plot to the moon, though. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oof. I'm getting too old for this stuff, guys. This is late at night, and this isn't even that late. Maybe it's... I don't know why. I think because I drove kind of far today. And in my older age, sometimes these drives kind of zap me. It just zaps my energy. And it makes me tired for the rest of the day. SJ, Dougie shoots a ton. Love that. Yeah, Dougie always trying to get pucks on net. Love to see it. Dougie with all kinds of shots on goal. Richard Ace, appreciate you. Got to let the dog out and hit the rack. Good night. Good night. Benjamin, yep, with you on the Dougie can and bring it every game. Kieran, I know Dougie will be missed when he goes, but his movement will be the result of some large improvement. Maybe not. It might not. You might not get the improvements that you're hoping with him being dealt, but we will see. Stay tuned. Trade deadline, a little more than probably 3.5 months away? Yeah, I know. Doggy. I didn't know what they meant, though. M. Sharp late here, not a bad game, hung in there. Well, M. Sharp, you're lucky you weren't here a couple hours ago or, an hour and a half ago because the dooming was at an all-time high. So that's why the weekend lives, I can stay up as long as I can and then no longer after it's done. Oh, I remember childhood weekends, bro. Enjoy it, man. One day, Mario, you're going to be old and you're going to be like, damn it, I didn't know how good I had it when I was a kid. Sneaking on. What are you watching this on, Mario? Are you like in your bedroom, like under your sheets, like sneaking this on a tablet or a phone? I'm so curious. Oh, man, to have the technology that kids nowadays have compared to what we had as kids. Age is catching up. I know. I got to reverse age, bro. I got to figure out how to do it. Hey, Russo, what's the most random Devil jersey you own, like player-wise? Ooh, that's a good one. It would have to be a game-worn jersey. It would be a game-worn for sure. I pretty much I had so many randoms at one time, and I kind of sold them to fund purchasing like bigger name Devils. I guess the most random, if you're counting like their affiliates, the most random jersey I have is probably a Nicholas Bergforce Lowell Devils game worn jersey. That would be my most random. If you're talking about actually New Jersey Devils, then I really don't have any that are random. They're all going to be, of name guys. But if you're counting the affiliates, it would definitely be the Nicholas Bergforce Lowell jersey. On the phone, yeah, we didn't have phones. Good night, Kieran. I'm in my dorm. Very nice. Oh. Let me mute this. I'm getting these chiming things. Richard Ace, you have quite the collection of Devil stuff. Do you have a collection of USA hockey jerseys? A few that I wear. I don't have like any like crazy high end stuff, but I have a bunch of USA hoodies and probably like 3 or 4 different jerseys from over the years. I have to stay still and turn down the volume so my parents don't catch me. Oh man, Jay Snow, I hate you. No, I'm kidding. Let me put this in here. Jay Snow, got to be better on the forecheck and sustaining ozone time. Yeah, for sure. Snow Devil, Chalowski's had some good shots on goal too. His shots on goal have been higher quality than Luke's. Okay. Husky says, I thank God we didn't have this tech when I was a kid. Yeah, in a lot of ways I am too. We actually played outside, played manhunt, played every sport, street hockey, basketball, football. Childhood in 2025 is very different. It's very, very different. John, I have a Mike Camilleri jersey, probably the most random, though I don't own a huge collection. Camilleri is fairly random, I would say. Childhood was rough. I just had a flashlight in a book. Sook, running this team will turn you into a doomer yourself one day when we're all old and tired and gray and they still haven't won jack shit. Then and only then you will understand. If that happens, I'll freak out. Yeah, Bergforce. I just wanted I think I got it back when he was still like a prospect that we're still hoping panned out. And so I wanted a Lowell Devils jersey, and like the only ones available at the time, like he was the most like named guy, sadly, right? Like the other ones were guys, I don't remember who they were, but they were guys that you never heard of like ever. So I went with like the biggest name I could find, if that makes sense, which sadly was him. John Fay, let me ask everyone, including Ace, this. Who would be more missed if we were to trade them, Dougie or Palat? I feel like Dougie would be more missed than Palat. No offense to Palat. Yeah, I think Dougie by a lot, if I'm being honest. I think Dougie by a lot. Mario, I play street hockey with friends and plan actual teams on Fridays and weekends. Very nice. Captain THC, I got a Jamie Langenbrunner Team USA jersey from the Olympics. That's awesome. I love Langenbrunner. What a I still can't believe that 2010 gold medal game with all the heroics. Zach Parise ties it up late, only for Sid to crush a nation. Sid just crushes the hearts of all Americans in the overtime. Puts one past Ryan Miller was the goalie. Former Buffalo Sabre. Puts one past Ryan Miller and gives Canada the W. Terrible. Rangers just lost. Nice. Suk says, I have a Gearston jersey. Oh, boy. I won it in an online auction. It's fake. A lot of fake jerseys out there. John Fay, I have a Gusev jersey. Okay, that's a little bit random, too. Am I the only one here under 20? Just a random game. No, there's some other young bucks in here. Yeah, crazy Alex. Hey, Russo, is it bad that Kovalchuk is still my favorite player ever? I'm going to tell you no, my guy. I'm going to tell you no, and there's people that hate me anytime I talk about Kovalchuk positively. He was hands down to me the most electric offensive player the Devils ever had during my fandom, which started in 1994. So in my 31 years of being a fan, nobody was capable of doing what Covey did. Nobody. The dude was built like a tank and could fly. He had speed. He had size. He obviously had that cannon blast shot. He had the breakaway moves. He had the wrister if he wanted to use it. Covey was absolutely electric. There was nothing like the Kovalchuk era, in my opinion. I mean, obviously the Cup era. I mean, I guess not Kovalchuk era, but Kovalchuk, he was a prime top, I don't know, at his peak, top 5 to 10 forward in the league. And he was a Devil, and he was just getting it done everywhere. I mean, it was a phenomenal time. Loved Covey. Absolutely loved Covey. It sucked how it ended, but Covey was just an absolute beast. SJ, respect to our Devils and any hockey player. Hockey is so dangerous. A puck can deflect and break your face at any moment. It's very true. Check out the big brain on Ace. Good memory. What was that for? What was the memory? The memory about what? I don't know. I'm behind again. I'm curious what I remembered. Covey leaving still hurts this day. Yeah, it sucked. John Fay, we have a few young buck hardcore future Devils fans in here. Absolutely. You got to start them young. Covey was phenomenal. Traveling, I wish I was able to chat about the game, but I'm still driving home. That's a brutal drive, man. Props to you for trekking out there to see this painful loss. Jason says, I want Kadri. I'll take the risk. Yeah, I could see people wanting it. Jack Bobrovsky, everyone laughed when Florida gave him $10 million per year. None of us are laughing now. Yeah, the guy's 2 cups, right? Even if he only got 1, he earned his contract and then some. John Fay, I think I also have a Kovalchuk jersey. I know that's not random, but still, what a player he was. Absolutely. Captain THC, Covey was a complete to everyone each time I met him. He didn't seem to be exactly fan-friendly. That's interesting. I've never heard that. I met him several times, and if I'm being honest, I always had good interactions with him. But I will say I probably acted much different than most people do. Like, I would kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but I would always engage them in some sort of conversation. And those kind of meetings over the years, going back to even when I was a little kid, is what kind of made me want to interview players. And that's if I'm being honest, the interviews was the primary driving factor for me to have this channel. I like talking to other fans and doing what we're doing right now too, but I was like, wait a minute, if I could make something big enough that people care about it and fans get behind it, then I could probably interview players. And here we are. But yeah, I met him several times, and he was always, I mean, not everyone's going to be in the best mood every time, but he was pretty damn friendly several of the times I met him. David, what do you think about Palat, Casey, and a first to the Preds for Philip Forsberg at the deadline? I can't see it happening. I would welcome it, but I just can't see it. Let me see his contract situation. I think the Devils really have to prioritize a center before splurging on a guy like him that's going to use up What's his contract? Like, we're only going to have one move. Yeah, he makes 8.5. That's not going to be easy. Covey hated the Rangers and beat the snot out of Avery. I don't recall that, but I know he was in the mix a lot. My favorite is Patty. What a legend. Definitely. Oh, yeah, the Olympics. What a great game. I can never forget stuff like that. I mean, I have epic photos of Zach signed from that moment. Hey, Russo, I remember the fight he had knocked someone out. I forget who, though. Bro was built different. Oh, I'll send you I'll drop the link for that right now. We're going to have a quick little, at the end of this thing, we're going to have a quick little ode to Ilya Kovalchuk. I know exactly which fight you're talking about. Wait, I want to make sure I give you I want the longer feed of it. Oh, yeah, here's the whole thing. Oh, yeah. So this is one of Kobe's greatest moments right here. The fight that you're referring to, you're welcome. Bang. Link in the chat. Link in the chat. No, because I say a lot, man. I didn't think that was like a memory worthy, moment talking about the Olympics. Should I get an extra couple minutes of sleep or just say screw it and stay up? What time do you have to wake up? Like 7? Suk, the only defenseman has ever angered me as much as Luke Hughes does now is John Merrill. I think I have a John Merrill jersey too. Oh, Ben, USA Hockey around the corner. Let's bring it. I can't wait. I could not wait. Avery and Marty were some classic battles. Ace, we need a gritty forward. No, I completely agree, but I would prefer a gritty center. Brodeur wouldn't shake Avery's hand. Yeah, it was a great time. Captain Teach, I'd love Forsberg on the Devils. Faye, all right, Ace, I'm out with a rough loss. On to the next. See you Saturday. Take care. Yep, it was Shen, and the link is right below. I think Casey will be shipped to Vancouver and part of a Quinn trade. I wouldn't be surprised if they hang on to him until the end because they're in denial about him not re-signing there. We need to sweeten every deal because our prior signings below. I highly doubt Vancouver is trading Quinn. I think at some point they may have to, but I would not be shocked if they just refused to believe he was not going to resign there. I mean, and who knows? Maybe they just offer him such ridiculous money that he says, screw it, I'll stay. Kobe pissed me off when he left. Jack, Vancouver doesn't care that his brothers play for NJ at all. How about when he headbutted the puck to keep it in the zone? I don't remember that one. Post the link for the Schwab Soderstrom tilt. Oh, ask and you shall receive. I've talked about that a million times. That's a childhood classic. That's an absolute childhood classic. I remember that so vividly, and I'm jealous. My buddy was there. Steve the Maniac was at this game live. Oh man, Billy Guerin, what a savage! Started the whole thing kind of. Link in description. Link in the chat. The Soderstrom Schwab. I'm not even going to call it a fight. It was more of a beating. Jack says Vancouver is ranked one of the best cities in the world to live in. By who? Certainly not American kids in their 20s. The Hughes brothers. It's not certainly high on their list. They would probably rather be in almost every single other American city that with an NHL team than Vancouver, I'd imagine. Yeah, we can get Quinn as a free agent. I'm all on that train. No assets required. Am I missing out? Because I don't know about that. Because you don't know about what? I'm with you. 2 years. Be patient. Snow Devil, I wanted a top 6 forward coming to the season, but seeing how Grits, Mercer, and Brown are playing center can make more. Are playing comma. We're missing a comma here. Center would make more sense. Cody would definitely be one of the top 4 C's. We're really missing him right now. Absolutely. Jack says Vancouver is not letting one of the best defensemen walk into free agency and leave for nothing. So I did read from, I think it was Canucks fans were saying that in the end, the owner is all about making money. And if he thought he could make more, this was a crazy theory, that if he could make more money off of a playoff appearance with Quinn, that they would keep him. But I think at the latest, they'll trade him. I guess at the deadline next season would be your last attempt to do it. Corey the Hammer Schwab. What an excellent beating. David Ace, what do you think about Meyer, Brown, and Mercer to jumpstart some offense next game? I've talked about this time and time again. I am down to experiment with everything. Try everything. We have tons of guys with all these injuries. Yeah, it's almost like you just throw them out there and see what you get. Throw them out there and see what you get. It can't be worse than what we saw tonight, right? Tonight we saw 0 goals. So it's worth trying everything. Jack says NJ fans are nuts if you think you're getting Quinn. I don't think it's nuts. I'm fairly certain he's going to sign here in free agency. Mario, the Schwab Soderstrom, not Soderblom, tilt is something I haven't heard about. Well, Mario, due to the beauty of the internet, you could get an education. Click the link in the chat. It's basically a goalie beating down another goalie. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. It's a peak Devils regular season moment for me, hands down. Regular season. Kobe used to go end to end. That was so much fun to watch. Yeah, he would fly, man. End to end, and you didn't know if he was going to just stick handle through the whole team, if he was going to go through one guy and then wind up and just let go a ripper, or if he's going to try to bring it all the way in. I mean, Kobe could beat you so many ways. Oh, Jack has revealed himself as a Canucks fan. Jack, I promise you, Vancouver is not a place that the Hughes brothers want to live. American kids have zero interest in living in Vancouver. And I believe you have some of the worst travel in terms of the NHL teams also. American kids don't want that. I don't doubt that Vancouver is beautiful. I've actually heard that it is. But it's a Canadian city far, far away. American kids don't want to be there. People who watch CBC and listen to MB want to live in Vancouver. That's like McCart is going to free agency and signing with NJ. Canada is cold. Hey, Russo, calling it Goaltending goal next game. That's brave. Vancouver is... Sure, it's beautiful, but no one in Vancouver actually likes Vancouver. I'm sure tons of people do. I'm just saying in this specific case, for American kids, Vancouver is not of interest. I'm sure for tons of Canadian kids that are playing in the league or coming up, they would love to be in Vancouver. But the Hughes brothers are not Canadian kids. Welcome, Mario, who used to have massive nuts. Jack says, the only thing you have revealed is you have never traveled in your life. Love watching the old brawls, the Sabres versus the Sens back in the primetime tough days. Yeah, the old school NHL was just wild. Wild. Devil Dog, Montreal is the only city worth visiting in Canada. Vancouver sucks, is filled with heroin addicts. I think that's a lot of cities, though. I mean, to be fair, there's tons of those in every American city, too. But I do love Montreal, and Toronto is a lot of fun as well. Wow, finished watching it. You see young Marty Brodeur. The young Marty Brodeur on the bench, just watching the melee. Suk says, the hockey guy lives right outside of Vancouver, and he's even said he knows it's a tough draw because of the location. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm taking a bathroom break real quick, and then we start shutting this down. Appreciate all of you coming out after the loss. Thoughts, comments, suggestions. I like the suggestions. I'm not going to say I'm going to do them all, but I do enjoy the suggestions. Throw them out there. I'll be back in a minute, and then we'll start winding this thing down. Closing thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever you got, throw it in the chat. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and I'll leave that up there for now. That's pretty sick. Be right back. 2 minutes. Throw them out there. We start winding it down. I am back. Yeah, I heard McDavid is signing as a free agent. It's nice to dream. What a live of many topics. Wish I could have seen the Golden Era with Devils hockey. Mario, when you send me the email, I'll send you back some good links to watch like historic Devils moments and things that are worth watching as a young person. If you kind of want to get a little mini education, if you will, on old school Devils hockey, I'll send you a bunch of links. A Russo, where do you buy tickets from? I use Game Time. Usually, I look on all of them, but usually I think I've been using TickPick the most lately. It's sad they call bumping into people hits. It's so true. Devil Dog says McDavid will eventually end up in Florida, Tampa, Dallas, or Vegas. I think he's going to be an Oiler for life, but I could be wrong. I want to see a cup in my youth. I'll take one. I've said for a while now, I just want to see one more before I croak. I can't believe I'm setting the bar so low. But Suk says, Mario, you missed out. Not looking like any glory days for a while. Oh, give me a break. We could go on a deep run soon. Come on, man. McDavid to Toronto. I could see that potentially. The vibe was immaculate. Nothing like it is now or has been for a while. It's true. Dylan and Cotter should have been the only ones with hits tonight. Cotter had 6. That was a sweet Devils warm-up that we were just talking about briefly before. Jack, Quinn Hughes to NJ in free agency is a dream. I think it's going to happen. But the difference is Quinn's coming here because his 2 brothers are here. We don't have any McDavid brothers. So David says, deposit your Allen apologies in the comment section below. He played a great game. Absolutely. But I don't think there's been anyone hating on Jake Allen for quite some time. Oh, Jack. Canucks fans coping is pretty funny. There is 0 chance Quinn goes to New Jersey in free agency. I mean, how delusional can you be, Jack? They've all talked about how they want to play together. The 2 Hughes brothers are here long term. On what planet is there at least not a very good chance that Quinn Hughes signs here? You're crazy. You're living in denial, but good luck to you. I know it's going to be a very, very rough, probably week or two. For the Canucks fans when Quinn inevitably leaves. Damn, Ovi had a hat trick, huh? 40-year-old Ovi scored 3 goals tonight, which is more than our whole team in the last 2 games. Wow. Top Jimmy says, looks like I missed a good game. Can we get the real San Jose Timo here already and dump this imposter? Would be nice. It would be nice. Jack, who cares where his brothers are? They care. They care. They've talked about it openly. All of them. We're not making this up, my guy. Do your research. You're uneducated. There's plenty of clips out there of all of the Hughes brothers talking about how cool it would be to play together. On what planet do you not think there's at least a very good chance he signs here? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to comprehend. Jack, who drives the After Hours Woodson? Wow. I'm not a Vancouver fan, but you clearly don't have a clue what you're talking about. Clearly I do, and clearly you are a Canucks fan in denial. Mario, I watch old Devils clips, specifically Cup Finals. Yeah, it's very good. You work for the Vancouver Chamber of Commerce. Yo! Oh, my God. I don't think he's trolling. I think this is actually unprecedented levels of stupidity, Brandon, and denial. Who cares what the brothers want? They want. And that's the point of free agency. The player gets to pick where they want to go. So you don't need to be a GM. Yeah, he's definitely coping, for sure. For sure. No, again, they don't have to be GMs, buddy. That's the point of unrestricted free agency. They get to pick where they want to go. And clearly the Devils will be at the top of his list. Yeah, this guy's getting drowned in the comments, rightfully so. Yeah, we're the delusional ones, Jack. You're right. I hope you're here for the stream. The the Quinn Hughes arrival stream is probably going to break records on this channel. I think when Quinn Hughes is a Devil, it's going to break records. Stupid people here late at night. A top player in the NHL does not reach free agency, idiot. This is a very different circumstance, buddy. Very different circumstance. And sometimes top players do reach free agency. A lot of times they do not, but this is going to be one of the cases where they do, because he's not going to sign an extension before he becomes a free agent. Snow Devil, the Devil's official ticket channel is Ticketmaster. Why use TickPick? Is it cheaper? In a lot of cases, it is. What top 10 player reached free agency? Dude, tons. Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner just became unrestricted free agent. There's been a bunch. Panarin, Johnny Gaudreau. Covey actually was an unrestricted free agent before he re-signed here. Dougie Hamilton was a big deal when he signed with the Devils. I think Gensel was a free agent a couple years ago. There's a bunch of guys. JT, before JT signed with the Leafs, he was an unrestricted free agent. But yeah, Mitch Marner is one of the biggest ones ever, and it was just this past summer. So I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, name a player that has two brothers on one team. I know. He's getting pretty aggressive, I can tell. Stammer, Marchessault. Yeah, Covey, Hamilton. All right, folks, that's it. Painful loss. Oh, this is irrelevant. So he said, name a top 10 NHL player that walked for nothing, not who re-signed with the team before they became a free agent. Okay, so I don't know what you're trying to get at. There's a good chance the Canucks trade him somewhere where he plays for however long is left on his deal, and then he signs with the Devils in free agency. I don't know if you're trying to be technical or whatever, but either way, he's probably going to sign with the Devils on July 1st, 2027. If we don't trade for him beforehand. There's a chance they make a trade for him before that. But at the longest, he will sign on the line which is dotted at that point. Suk says, Jack, I pray you're still around here when Quinn becomes a Devil so I can make fun of you and shame you into oblivion. All right, guys, that's it. Painful one. Devils lose 1-0. Jake Allen, amazing game from him. It all was wasted. Bobrovsky played very well, and it is what it is. Philadelphia on Saturday. Hopefully we break the 2-game skid right now, and it doesn't become 3. We need some points. Very interested to see who's going to be in net. I would go back to Allen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Markey, but we will see. Thank you all for watching. Hit the thumbs up on the way out, obviously. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. I've got to do that. And that's it. Back Saturday, if not before. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.